All right, we're here with San Jose State linebacker Jordan Cobbs. Jordan, you guys are coming off the strong win at Oregon State in Corvallis. You guys are bowl eligible now. I know the whole team's hyped up about that, but I want to talk about the turnover in the first quarter in that game. You had the forced fumble on Anthony Hankerson, Oregon State running back. Just walk me through that play. What was your mindset going in there? Oregon State was kind of in the red zone there, threatening to score. Is that kind of your intent all the way, to just kind of punch that ball out, force a turnover?
Yeah, they started the game out pretty good with that opening pass, kind of put us on our heel, and then they tried to establish that run game. And it was just a perfect scenario. It was me and him one-on-one in the gap. I tried to get to the ball as much as possible. I was able to get low man wins, so I was able to come out with the ball. Yeah.
You kind of always trying to punch the ball out in that situation, or is that, you're just trying to make first contact, and is that the way things go at your position?
Yeah, normally if I'm the first person, I try to make the tackle first, but if I ever see the ball, it's kind of like a habit. I'm gonna go after the ball. So it was clear. He was one-on-one. Like I said, I seen the ball right in front of him. I got low. I tried to put my helmet on the ball, and it worked out.
Now, talk to me about. I don't like to compare games, but I was saying on the radio live in Corvallis, like this game has a kind of that same feel like in week 2 versus Air Force. Kind of both teams kind of who's going to make that one big play in the second half. Obviously, Harvey had the big pick 6, and then you guys kind of just took the game over. Do you kind of make those comparisons a little bit between week 2 and last week, and kind of like, dang, like we showed up there when it mattered?
For sure, that's a good comparison. Air Force for sure, just as far as the physicality and going back and forth. But I'd say this past Oregon State game, including the crowd and the refs was giving us some calls here and there. Honestly, it felt like our odds weren't in favor. Air Force, I kind of felt like we were, in control of the game. In Oregon, I felt like there were times we weren't as in control of the game, but we fought to the last minute and regained that control by the end, especially in that second half with DJ making that pick. It brought more energy, brought that momentum back to our sideline for sure. So we was able to turn it back up and regain control of the game, and honestly, it was amazing. From that moment on, I knew that we had it in the bag for sure.
Yeah, I was saying in the fourth quarter, like, man, you got to give the game ball to Coach D.O. on that, because you guys just seemed to blow up the line of scrimmage every single time that you guys were blitzing. You guys had Rocket, DJ. You guys were just taking over there when they were in some obvious passing situations. 100%. Was that kind of like the intent there? Like, hey, let's just bring the house and the entire county of Santa Clara here, kind of like this. They're kind of in a one-dimensional situation here.
On their heels for sure. We definitely hyped on being like more aggressive, right? Being the aggressor, bringing that energy first instead of being the ones to receive it, and So I definitely give credit to D.O. and the calls he was making. We're definitely more aggressive with our calls. But once in all, it's still the players on the field. They understood the assignment not only, and they went out there and played their hearts out. And that's what brings everything all together with the calls, with the momentum, with everything. It's how hard you play. And I feel like my guys have played hard, so 4 quarters.
Let's talk about the game this weekend, because it's obviously a big one, right? Boise State's coming to town, and they've obviously gotten a lot of national recognition. I mean, since I've been here since 2020. I feel like this is just the biggest game in San Jose, right? I mean, there's a lot at stake in this one. You guys obviously have a chance to, spoil the party that the Broncos got, and they got a guy named Ashton Genty, running back. I mean, what's the difficulties of trying to play against the Boise State offense, because a lot of teams have stacked the box against them, but at the same time you can't really stack the box because otherwise their quarterback with their receivers will kind of torch you there. What's the difficulties of game planning for the Broncos?
Yeah, for sure. It's a balance, like you said. You just can't bring the house all out of them at once. Not only will they're pretty persistent, so they'll be able to manage that and still run the ball. But then, like you said, that quarterback starts slinging that rock, and then it get real difficult. So I think it's a balance of playing both and really just being technically sound, right? I watched a lot of games. In the first few quarters, teams would be great, but it's that third and fourth quarter when, you get tired and things get a little rough, you start to fall apart. So I think the winner of this game is going to be whoever can last the full 4 quarters. In my opinion, it's going to be the most physical game we probably had all year. There's going to be a lot of exciting plays, and we can't let that get to us and let that get in the back of our heads. We just got to be able to, stay in the moment and regroup and play together. So
got a lot of box office talent this Saturday. Ashton Genty, Nick Nash,
Yes,
obviously a bunch of playmakers on both sides all over the place. Is this kind of the biggest game like that you guys will probably be playing since you've been here as a Spartan, you know, between the Spartans and the Broncos here?
Yes, and I played in a lot of good games with the Broncos. I remember my first year, 2019, we played them here. Some amazing plays in that game. Then we played them in the championship a couple years ago. So me and the Broncos, we got bad blood anyway. But it's always a great game, always a fun game. Like you said, some great players coming in, and I'm expecting to see a lot of plays. But as a defensive player, I'm going to try to mitigate them as much as possible. So.
There you have it. Jordan Cobbs, San Jose State linebacker. Thanks for the time.
Yes,
Best of luck
yes.
this weekend for Boise State.
Thank you.